moving on to Scream, the first movie without Kevin Williamson and without Wes Craven.
Yeah.
Scream.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were very worried about this particular entry because they're like, well, no Williamson, no Craven. How is this a Scream movie? How are you going to recapture the magic of the first 4 movies? Like, how are you going to do that? I had faith in Radio Silence because I am very familiar with some of their works, and I thought if anyone can pull off the Scream, it's these guys. These guys are really good. They know how to balance humor, gore, horror, and I mean, just look at their work. You know, from VHS to Ready or Not, man. This was the right crew for Scream, in my opinion.
God damn, I don't know how I forgot just that fast that they directed Ready or Not. That's when I didn't see Ready or Not until after Scream 5 was already announced. And I did commentary for Ready or Not, and like the first time I watched it, and by the time I was done with it, I was like, whatever red flags I had, because I had a lot of red flags about them jumping on this shit. Whatever red flags I had, I said, oh no, all that shit's out the window. Because like you said, horror and humor, they know exactly what the fuck they're doing when they balance the two of those out. Because Ready or Not was probably, even though I saw it late, it was one of the best movies that came out that year.
Yeah.
Hands fucking down. That movie was amazing. And I was like, these guys, they get it. So I'm going to keep the faith in them. I went back and watched their segments with on VHS, which VHS movies they did, and I was like, all right, man, I'm gonna trust it. Then I remember the trailer dropped, and I was like, this looks like it's still in conjunction with the other movies. And then when I saw it, man, I'm just like, it took me a while to get my review together because I'm like, this is a lot to unpack. And I said that it was a seamless transition. Like, it seems like Wes Craven directed that movie. They take a couple liberties with like camera angles and shit like that in certain shots, but it's seamless, man. It seems like Kevin Williamson wrote it. The dialogue is still like hip and witty, and the humor's there. But one of the things that stood out, like Scream 5 was a little more brutal than I expected it to be. That shit, the opening sequence, it was something about, I don't know if it's just because of how Scream 4 left me, but the opening sequence is just creepy to me. And the opening sequence has not been creepy since the first movie up until part 5. And it's just how calm Roger Jackson's voice is as Ghostface before he leads up to the attack. And it's fucking creepy. Like, I thought I was going to be pissed off because when she started talking about elevated horror, I'm just like, cut it the fuck out. Like, I like all of those, the horror hipsters is what I call them. Her character's one of those, but I was like, oh my God, can we not? But then I forgot what type of movie I was watching. I'm like, okay, we can let that shit fly.
You forgot what type of movie you were watching.
I'm like, they're gonna mention all types of horror because I was just like, the Babadook though, really? Like, nah.
Yeah, I'm good, man. A horror movie about motherhood? What?
Yeah,
nonsense.
All the way good. Mama and the Babadook and all that.
I haven't seen Mama, so I actually want to watch the short first though. I heard the short is really fucking good though.
That movie's not great. At least I didn't think it was. Andy Muschietti, he's a visionary guy. He's got a knack for the genre, but Mama is just like I can go fucking watch Darkness Falls and see if I like that better. Like, I can go revisit that movie because Mama's just weird. It's just a weird, boring ass movie. It starts off like, you remember that movie Nell with Jodie Foster and fucking Liam Neeson? It's like Nell, like these two little girls who were raised in the woods and all this other weird shit. They take them home and they clean them up, but Mama don't like it. And Mama starts creeping around and doing her supernatural shit. It's like a throwaway movie. I don't know.
It's interesting to me because like I know that a lot of people in the horror community especially hate that term elevated horror. But when you think about elevated horror, I mean, it is a real thing because we used to call it art house horror in the 90s. It's a real thing. I mean, I even made this argument about Misery, Candyman, Silence of the Lambs, where these are horror movies that are elevated by story and performance. They're not your typical horror movies in the sense that they are supernatural and slasher and they rely on horror and gore and stuff like that. These are movies that are real. These are movies about real people that can really happen. Annie Wilkes is probably Annie Wilkes is one of the most terrifying antagonists in horror. She is one because she could be real, and she is real. That's what makes her scary. The thing is now, if you remake Misery today, she'd be one of these fucking Twitter accounts talking all this shit, stalking all these filmmakers, saying, you ruined my childhood. She'd be one of those people. And that's what I kind of like about it, too, because it pokes fun at those kind of fans. That this is what Scream 5 does. It pokes fun at those kind of fans. Star Wars fans, anyone, Transformers, TMNT, whatever, you know what I mean? Any fan out there, every fan has toxic fans. It doesn't matter. You're not going to escape toxicity. You're just not. But I like how this movie really leans into it and makes the toxic fans the killers in this movie. Because what is their motive? They got away from the essence of what the movie is. We're going to remake the movie in our image. And we're going to do it the way we're going to give them the right source material for them to work with. And what's the biggest complaint with what's the biggest complaint with most fandoms? You got away from the source material. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you went off the. And that like the movie even pokes fun at itself when Richie's watching. I think he's talking to Sam and he's eating pizza and he's just like. He's like, yeah, I'm watching the stab movies. If you ask me, this series completely goes off the rails at by the fifth one. And I love that line because that is going back to the fact that we know what this is. We're not going to make you guys have a bad time. We're going to make you guys enjoy it. We're going to poke fun at ourselves and this, that, and the other. And like, man, Radio Silence, they need a lot more praise. There's a few people that I've seen online that say Scream 5 is the worst one and it missed the mark. I don't see any of that argument. I don't, man. I don't. Scream 5 everybody was all concerned because they were like, oh, it's coming out in January. I never understood like why people think January movies are always going to bomb.
Because most of the time, January movies are either Oscar baits or they don't do well. When you often try to release a franchise movie in January or February, you are signifying not only to the fans but to the studios that we do not have faith in this movie that's going to do well. But
shit, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Because every time there's a January release, like if you ever notice, when you watch Double Toasted, when they ask when a movie's coming out and somebody says January, they start panicking. Like not panicking, but they're like, oh, you know what this might be. But Scream,
January and August are often considered dump months, and if your movie is released in August or in January and you're like a franchise, you need to be worried that you're going to be released in one of those 2 months because that signifies that the studio does not have faith in this movie. Like, it doesn't think it's going to make money or whatever. And there are exceptions to the rule, yes. But you're coming off the holidays, you're coming off Oscar bait, you're coming off all this other shit, and you're going to release a horror movie or a tentpole franchise in the middle of winter? That's crazy. Or at the end of summer?
In the case of, like, August, Halloween H2O cleaned up. That shit came out August 5th, if I'm not mistaken, of 98 and racked the fuck up. I don't know how much money that shit made, but they made a hell of a lot of money for them to, and the tagline on the poster said, this summer, Tara won't be taking a vacation, but motherfucker, like, people about to go, like, kids are ready to go back to school in September, and you released it, like, you only had 1 month.
They're not already back in school,
Yeah, but the movie, that movie did well though. But for them to release Scream 5 in January with 2 brand new directors on board, and what I'm saying, they were writing and directing like the movie. Like I'm not gonna lie, man. Like I still, while the trailers had me sold and Ready or Not had me sold with what Radio Silence could do, I was not prepared for that fucking movie, man. Like I came out of that movie like these characters, like I remember when they showed the cast, I was like, these look like CW knockoff characters. And Dylan Minetti, I didn't like him. He had already rubbed me the wrong way because I had just recently watched Let the Right One In, and I know he was a lot younger, but I'm like, he was a fucking asshole in that movie. Just because you dye your hair, you still the same character until proven otherwise. I liked his character. He didn't get a lot to do, and I like that his character was named Wes. That was like the Wes Craven tribute they threw in there. They brought Deputy Judy back, which I was like, okay, because Marley Shelton is just straight up MILF material in that movie, man. I don't know what it is about Marley Shelton. Like ever since Valentine, I was like something about this girl is like she's so mousy, but she's got like a little bit of toughness to her. But as Deputy Judy, like she died in that little yoga outfit, man, because that shit was fitting her right. It really was, man. And that's another thing. The death sequences, with the exception of Kyle Garner's character, because I know there's deleted scenes that add more context to who he is and what happens with him, but the way they edited everything, he's just there to get killed. And you can't get a break in franchises because you were in Nightmare on Elm Street remake and they did him dirty in that. And in Scream, you see him by the car, you see him in the bar, he takes a piss, he gets stabbed in the neck. It's a vicious death scene, but it's like, who the fuck are you and why are you here?
Yeah.
Then you find out, oh, Schumacher's. It's like, all right, man, whatever.
Again, Space Liberace. Oh, hell yeah. I'm vaping nicotine, bro. MILF material. Zuko approved.
Zuko approved. Listen, man, yeah, Marley Shelton, man, I don't know, man. And I'm so sad to see her, like, you know, when she was, like, crying on the phone to Ghostface, and she's just like, please don't hurt my boy. I'm like, oh. I was like, please don't. I was like, don't cry. Like, don't cry. It's going to be all right. We're going to live through this. And then they killed the Ghostface. Like, you would think Amber and Richie spent time in prison. The way they kill people, it's multiple stacks.
At least Richie. Like, goddamn.
Yo,
I have a theory about Amber, but we'll get to her in a little bit.
Boom.
Got it the first time.
I did for once. I'm getting the hang of this video shit.
So, let's see, where was I? Yeah, the series got back on track with this.
Yeah,
I feel like. Also, too, I was rewatching the ending to this movie, and Amber says a peculiar line that got me thinking. I watched Dewey die, and he died like a pussy.
That wasn't Amber.
Yeah, she says she watched. She didn't say she did it.
Ew. Whoa. Is this going to be one of those things where we do a flashback to Dewey's death sequence, and then
it was Stu?
Oh my God, man! Yo, listen, I'm telling you, if Stu Macher, I hope he doesn't show up because all the theories are just so, like, I was telling somebody like a couple weeks ago, I said the theories are overwhelming for Stu Macher, man. I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that shit. I really don't. But she said he died like a pussy. I don't like. Are we going to do a flashback to that sequence, and then we see like Amber in the corner watching, like we see her point of view, seeing, like, literally watching Dewey die? I don't know, but that wasn't like come on, man. Like, I know they play around with the sizes with Ghostface, and you're just like, when the reveals happen, it's like, okay, how did that person kill this person, and they're that small? But Amber is not a great reveal as a killer. I don't know. She's kind of annoying too. Richie,
yeah,
like Amber's kind of annoying because like she speaks for the, like you said, that toxic fandom. When she says, no, I just wanted to be a part of something. I'm like, you are every fucking internet troll that just wants to have an opinion for no reason. Oh my God. Like, they nailed that shit. Richie, he almost is cringy when he does his reveal because he's in, like, when he's all in Sydney's face and he's like, and why they make fun of us because we like something, and I'm like, you look like Dwight Schrute from The Office, so I can't really take you seriously. Like, they're like, what's his name? Jack Quaid. He looks like Rainn Wilson. He looks like Rainn Wilson. Just like if Dwight from The Office, like if Dwight and Angela had a love child, then it's Richie.
That'd
It's
be
Richie.
him.
It's him. But he's cool because like he has this unhinged thing. I'm not going to say he tries to like duplicate what Stu Macher does, but he's kind of like the tall character who's goofy, who's probably having more fun than he should with the whole killing people shit. I don't know. It's all right. And plus, hey, like you're not that crazy that you just brush off a gunshot wound to the leg. Like when Sydney shoots in the closet and she's like, "Come on, get up. What are you doing in here?" He's like, "Yo, I would hurry up, but you shot me in the leg." Like, and you just bounced off of that like it wasn't nothing. It's like wasn't nothing.
I actually like Scream 5. I think Scream is a really good movie. I don't understand the hate that it gets, but
I don't either.
I understand the hate that it gets because it's making fun of the same people that are critiquing this movie because what they're doing. And it's so interesting to me, too, because when I watch their reviews on this movie and they're criticizing this movie, they're bringing up the exact same fucking points that they're making fun of you for. Like, take your fucking head out of your ass and remove yourself from the equation and just really kind of take it for what it is because they're really hammering home about fandom and the toxicity of internet trolls. Like, that's what it is. It's okay to be critique and criticize the movie. I'm not saying that you can't criticize or critique this movie, but to use their points is actually proving their point. Like, come on. And that's why I like this movie a lot. And it's so funny because when we did our review for it, me and Elisa, I pointed that out to her. It's like, you are making the exact same point that they're making fun of you for. That's exact. Everything you're saying is what this movie is making fun of you for.
Like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like everybody can have their opinions and all that type of stuff, but I feel like as horror fans and as fans of the franchise, we should be so lucky that we got Scream 5. Shit could have been a wrap. Kevin Williamson could have been like, "Fuck y'all, I'm not giving nobody my seal of approval." Wes Craven was my right-hand man. I don't know if they necessarily had to go through him to get the movie made, but to have his blessing, it's like you had that for a reason, whether he wrote some like lesser sequels in the franchise or not. So to get Kevin Williamson behind that, man, that was like that was major. Every red flag I had, first of all, I like red flags aside, there was one thing I did have a feeling that was coming, and you already know that was Dewey. Like when I saw that trailer and Dewey is like, they edited it so that Dewey is approaching Ghostface when he's emptying the chamber of his gun. And they made it seem like they're having a showdown in the hallway. And I was like, okay, we're going Wild West. Like, Dewey doesn't look like, the happy-go-lucky bumbling guy that he's been in all the rest of the movies. He looks like he's tired, he's fucking fed up, and whatever's about to happen, he's ready to die for this shit. And I'm mad that he died for, the girl who couldn't act, Jenna Ortega, who's amazing, and the guy who turned out to be the killer. And I'm just saying, like, Melissa Barrera, like, nothing against her acting chops, like, I hope they're a lot better in this movie because Jenna Ortega she was acting circles around her in every scene they were in. When they're in the hospital room, Jenna Ortega's barely saying anything, and she's just like, "You mean?"
And she's saying everything
now. Yeah, I can't, like, I just hope Melissa Barrera's acting gets better, because if you are going to lead this franchise as the next final girl of the franchise, then you definitely need to step it up a couple notches and make me believe you. Like, make me believe you in every single scene you're in, because the people around you they're acting circles around you. The majority of the people are. But Dewey's death, cried real tears. Straight up real tears. I did not expect. Like, I expected Dewey to check out in this one, but not like that. Like, and they made it. The
He
build up
went out
was
like a
so bad.
fucking G, bro. He went out like a fucking G.
That
For
build
real.
up,
And
like,
you know what? Again, nice continuity touch by targeting the spine.
oof, yeah. And there's another theory. I don't know if you've seen this or not, and this goes back to that Stu Macher shit. Somebody they stitched a video together on TikTok, right? And they said it was when everybody was talking in the first Scream movie, and Sydney's like, "How do you gut someone?" And then Stu's like, "You take a knife and you slit them from groin to sternum." Cut to Dewey literally getting slit from groin to sternum in Scream 5. I was like, I said the way that people are trying to tie this shit in is really pissing me off, but I don't know if that was supposed to be a callback. I don't know if that was a like literally a in our face type of thing telling us, yo, this is Stu that's killing Dewey. But yeah, that I thought that Dewey was would he stab him in the front or the back first? I don't remember.
Front and then the back, and then he.
Yeah. So when Dewey, like, first of all, it was a fucked up sequence to begin with, because when he holds that elevator door, I was like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, you got to shoot him in the head. And Dewey, like, Sam is speaking for everybody. She's like, Dewey, who gives a fuck? He's like, I do. When those elevator doors closed, I knew.
It was a wrap.
I'm just like, no. Then he's empty, and I was like, okay, hurry up and shoot this motherfucker in the head so you can get back in the elevator. Then when that phone rang, I jumped, because when the phone rang, Ghostface jumps right up into action.
Yeah,
and when he
fucking Gail. Thanks, Gail. You fucked up.
she fucked his life up in real life and in the movie. That's some meta shit right there. Yeah, that's some meta shit right there. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I do want Courtney Cox on the show one day and David Arquette, but I'm sorry. Like, we got to put that out there. She did my man dirty, and I love Courtney Cox, man. I do. But listen, we got to talk about it. We have to.
Yeah. Holy shit! Shots fired.
She was the death of him, like, literally.
Yeah.
I thought he was gonna make it through that shit though, because when he got stabbed, I was like, oh, he gonna survive. But then when that second knife went in, I was like, oh, this is for real. And then when the knife started cutting up, I said, oh, okay, yeah, Dewey's dying, like literally dying in front of us. I was in shambles. I was in fucking shambles.
Also, Dewey, why do you have a fucking revolver? Why do you have a revolver? What the fuck? You fucking Dirty Harry?
I think he had a regular.
He had a revolver in every movie. He had a revolver, but I'm like, come on, bro. Come on. Seriously? You couldn't upgrade to a 9mm?
Yeah, or a fucking grenade or something. Like, Dewey should have been. Oh, man. But you know what? I wasn't ready for it, because I did a lot of bitching, man. Like, when Randy got killed, I always said, oh, it's Scream 3. Yeah, they killed Cotton, but, you know, everybody survived Scream 3. Everybody survived Scream 4. The franchise ain't got the balls to do what they did with Randy. They need to keep that same energy. And when they did, I was not ready for that. The way they killed Dewey, and then he's dead. Like, you see the toe tag on his fucking foot when Gale's pulling up. And I knew that was going to happen, because there's a shot in the trailer of Gale running, screaming, but it's in slow motion and somebody's holding her back. And I was like, I said in my trailer reaction, I said, I think Dewey's going to check out in this. Like, piecing the frames together, I said, Dewey's probably going to check out in this shit. But the way he died, it's fucked up. That just means Gale's got to die in the next one. She's got to go be with him.
Yeah. She get a fucking.
Gotta have.
I don't know, man, unless they're going to pull an Ant-Man trailer where, like, they fucking don't do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, Ant-Man. Shout out to Paul Rudd. I have nothing bad to say about Paul Rudd, but Peyton Reed.
Goddamn.
Peyton Reed, you got to do better. You got to do better. I think they should have somebody else direct Ant-Man 4. Peyton Reed.
Or write it, at least.
Yeah, his time's up. Yeah. So a whole nother fucking movie for another time. It's Quantumania. Matter of fact, we talked about Quantumania in the last episode. We talked about it pretty early on, I think.
Yeah.
We did.
Cutting that up too, so I'll be posting that up soon. Yeah, I think Scream puts the franchise back on track. I like this movie. I like what you're saying. I love the meta commentary. I think it was the right move, the right way to go, honestly, especially with social media being such a big part of everything, and especially legacy sequels are a thing, and requels and remakes.
Yeah.
How the commentary on that is very strong as well. And we're introduced to our next generation of Randys, which is Mindy. And she stole this fucking movie.
Yes,
She
she
stole this
did.
movie.
Yes, she did, man. That whole monologue she's got, it's a reminder of who she's fucking related to. And it's shots fired in that scene where she's like, she's naming movies. She's like, Child's Play, such and such. That shit doesn't work. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's get back to that. Let's get back to what Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson did in the first fucking Scream movie, where they're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, and Drew Barrymore's like, yeah, well, the first one's good, the rest sucked. I'm like, let's fucking go, Wes Craven and Kevin Williamson, shots fired in this jaw. Let's go. But that, like, I love that, Mindy makes so many good points, man, where she's talking about, like, legacy sequels like Halloween and Ghostbusters. Like you said, it is a thing. I mean, no, it wasn't really a thing. I think H2O was probably one of the first legacy sequels that we've had where something was just retconning everything. And Children of the Corn 6, if you want to count that. I don't know how many people have seen that outside. I just gave you Vietnam flashbacks.
You gave me fucking PTSD, bro. And I'm gonna fucking watch that remake. I think sometime
me too.
this week.
Yeah, me too. We should definitely give our thoughts on that. I mean, the trailer.
We fucking sat through fucking 13 of those. I mean, might as well make it 14.
I mean, look. Can it be any worse than the other ones at this point? I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. If it's worse than Reborn, bro, if it's worse than Jeepers Creepers Reborn, I'm like, yo, no. Who authorized this bullshit? Nothing can be bad as that.
That's literally like one of the worst fucking movies ever made. Like,
yeah.
I think I said this before. I can turn on Return of the Living Dead 4 and I could be like, oh, the practical effects for the zombies and the gore, at least that's decent. But with Jeepers Creepers Reborn, it is nothing. There's no. That is literally
get the fuck out of here. The fucking CGI, cathedral CGI. Oh, dude, don't even get me started. Don't get me started on that.
I'm telling you, you thought I was joking. I said you have to see this shit to believe it, sir. That movie, I don't give a fuck if we ever get any of those people on. The only person that is exempt from what I'm saying now is Dee Wallace, because maybe she had to pay her phone bill or something. I don't know if she owed somebody a favor who was. And
I need to know when she said, "I want to go home," if it was in character or out of character.
You said she was really saying that shit in real life, like. Yeah, like Dee Wallace is the only person exempt from that bullshit. Anybody else, I could give two shits whether we get them on the show or not. Fuck that movie, man. That movie was a straight up insult. Like, how you make the pedophiles movie look better than yours? Like, that's terrible. That's awful, man. They didn't even try.
That is awful.
I told you they didn't try. They didn't give a shit. They didn't care. They got everybody. Nope. Well, they didn't get everybody's money, but they. Oh, that's rough. Yeah, I think we all had flashback, PTSD flashback.
Yeah, for real. Best kill. What's the best kill?
Ooh.
There are a lot of good ones in this one.
Oh, goddamn. I might have to go with Dewey. I almost said Wes because of the build up. A lot of people didn't like that, but I love that every time they had like 10 false jump scares. I love that shit. And it was slow. It was a slow.
It built up.
Yeah. Damn. Well, Chad obviously didn't die. Yeah, I might stick with Dewey on this one. A part of me almost changed it to Richie, but Dewey's just hit home. Dewey, same thing with Scream 2, while Randy's the best death scene for me because I did not expect it. I kind of expected it, but the way it happened, I was not ready for that shit, and that shit pulled at the heartstrings, and it was brutal at the same time. It was beautifully brutal, if that makes any sense. And the fact that he looked down at the phone and saw Gail still calling, and he's like, "Yo, this bitch really got me killed." Like that hurt even more. But yeah, I'll go with Dewey. I'll go with Dewey as best death scene for me.
I got Judy. For me,
Oh,
Judy
definitely.
really. I was not like, what? That's crazy. I think Judy and Wes have like the best sequences in the whole movie. Honestly, like just the sequence alone and the build to both their deaths is honestly really really well thought out and planned out. The suspense. By the time she gets to that door, you think she's gonna save him, and then boom, you get
broad
sucker
daylight
punched.
too.
Yeah.
Broad daylight. I didn't, and I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of like I didn't jump, but it was like, oh, like because the way Ghostface jumps out and stabs her, and then just like prison shanks her after that. That's why I said Richie and Amber spent time in prison. Yeah, he prison shanks her, and it was so sad because like what makes it even sadder is when she's already dead. Wes is setting up dinner, getting plates, and putting a little hirachi sauce and shit out. Like it's just like
makes it even more heartbreaking. What makes it even more heartbreaking because he's like waiting for his mom. It's like, oh my god, dude, look at the fucking window, look out the door, answer your fucking phone. Like, oh my god, that build-up is crazy.
That definitely was a good ass build-up, like from start to finish. Like you think Judy's about to get attacked, but then it's Wes, and then they have the little mother-son conversation, and she's like, "Here, put this in the drawer for me. You got your taser. Don't forget to lock the door." And it's so innocent, like it's so mother-son, never get into any trouble type of shit. And she's just going to get sushi, and then Ghostface calls her. That probably is like one of the. I'm telling you, man, Scream 5. I know people, like I said, can have their opinions, but that shit's a home run for me. Like the series overall, even with the ones that I don't enjoy as much, they're all home runs as far as I'm concerned. Like they're all solid slasher movies at the end of the day.
Best character. I think we're both in agreement. Mindy.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mindy, and Mindy's confident as shit. Like she's confident like in a geeky Randy type of way because I think it's Chad that's leaving out, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm also gonna smoke some weed and probably make out with this girl over here." And then the girl kind of looks at her like bashful, but she still like signals her over, and she ends up making out with the girl. And I'm like, "Let's go, Mindy!" Like I'm rooting for Mindy to win. I don't know how.
Mindy can pull, man. Mindy can pull.
Yeah, Mindy probably gets more pussy than any of the male characters in that movie, for real. But like, yeah, man, like from her monologue to like the little things that she does in the movie is fire. Like she's got this scene where Kyle Gonner's like hanging out at school being all creepy, and Mindy grabs her phone and she like takes a picture of him real quick. Like little small shit like that. Like I laugh at. Like I love Mindy's character, man. Jasmine Savoy Brown, man, she's a great actress overall. I've never even seen her in anything outside of the Scream stuff. I haven't seen her in anything. I don't know if she's I
think she came from Disney.
Oh Lord.
I think she came from Disney. Don't quote me. But if I remember correctly, I do remember seeing a bunch of TV credits for her before she made the jump to movies.
And then there's a scene with her and Kirby in one of the teasers or in the final trailer where, and I'm like, it had to happen. You had to have two of the biggest movie buffs in the franchise talking to each other. And Kirby's like, "So I heard you love horror movies," and Mindy's like, "Yeah, it's been said." I hope that's just not a throwaway moment. I hope that they actually have time to have a conversation. That shit's gonna be epic. Yeah, she does have a lot of TV credits to her name too.
Okay, worst character. I think we might be split on this. Mine is Liv McKenzie.
Oh God!
Like Mindy says, she's like a fucking blank wall. You're the least uninteresting character in this movie.
Yeah, she does say that. Yo, you might be right, yo. Because I didn't feel anything at all for her. There were times where I forgot she was even Chad's girlfriend. Yeah, and even there because she she doesn't really have a personality. And what? Yeah, I think we can both be in agreement on this because while I do want to say Amber, another part of me wants to say Kyle Garner's character, but there was something with those characters. With Liv, like I don't know if that was no. Obviously, that was written before they casted her, but what if it wasn't? Like, what if that line was just thrown in there because they were like, I don't know, we just need a fucking actress to play this guy's girlfriend. I don't know. But there's nothing to her. There's no memorable parts in there. What could have been a really memorable moment was how she reacted to Chad saying, I don't want to go upstairs and sleep with you because you might be a killer. That could have been her moment to shine. But when she came back and Mindy was like, where's my brother? And she's like, I don't know. He took off somewhere. She doesn't have the opportunity to do shit. But like if you took her out of the movie, I wouldn't bat an eye.
They play out the same way.
Yeah, same way. I can agree. Liv McKenzie, I don't know if they're gonna like tie her into like the McKenzies into anything. I don't know. I guess it was just a one-off thing where
I think it was just like a throwaway.
Yeah, they wanted to
like
go back to the McKenzie house from the first one.
How fucked up is that to make one of your characters an Easter egg?
Look.
Yeah. No, that's exactly what she is, dude. She's a fucking Easter egg.
Yeah. A living, breathing Easter egg. There's nothing to her character. It really isn't. Like, even when you are introduced to all these characters, when they're having the conversation out out near the benches and shit like that, there's still nothing to her. When what is his name? Chad. When Chad's like, yeah, so I could stalk you like a jealous boyfriend and all this other shit. She doesn't have one line in this movie where, like, even when she says I'm not the fucking killer before she gets shot in the head, it's just like, I know you're not. Like, I know that. And I think everybody else here knows that.
You knew that. Yeah, for real.
Nothing you
what shit as Amber gets? I love that sequence because you're like, I'm not the fucking killer, and Amber's like, I know you're not. Boom.
Yeah, and then the camera like kind of tilts and zooms in on her, and she's like, "Welcome to Act 3." I'm like, all right, yeah, we're in the game now. I didn't see that coming. Like that shot to the head, I was like, okay. But Amber pulls the gun out just so regular. She's just like, oh no, bam! I was like, oh shit, she just killed the shit out of the character nobody's ever gonna remember. Like, I don't know. And no disrespect to the actress, man. It's just like, you should have called for a more in-depth role. It's a fucking Scream movie. You want to be the most memorable character in the movie. Like, you got to go to the writers at some point.
Having a memorable look and a memorable hairstyle is not going to fucking do you any favors. Especially because
I liked her hair.
It's really personality based. You know what I mean?
I liked her hair. She looked like she was like one of the Misfits or one of the holograms from Jem and the Holograms. I don't know if you remember that cartoon with those punk rocker chicks. They made a movie out of Jem and the Holograms, and it was terrible. Yeah, they made like a live action based off the cartoon, but she looks like she looks like somebody from Jem and the Holograms. Don't stay away from the movie. If you're gonna watch anything, watch the '80s cartoon. The movie's terrible. Juliette Lewis is in it though. I don't know if that's like incentive for you to watch it, but Juliette Lewis is in it. She plays like their music producer or some bullshit like that. It's stupid.
Juliette Lewis?
Yeah, she's in that movie Gem I'm talking about. She's in it. It's Juliette Lewis.
I don't know. That's not much of an incentive for me. Not a huge, big Juliette Lewis fan.
So somebody was telling me to watch. Oh no, she's not in California. I'm thinking of Natural Born Killers.
Yes. Yeah,
she's in California.
She's in California.
Oh shit!
Somebody was telling me
to watch.
The reason she got Natural Born Killers was because of California.
Okay, so she's in both. Yeah, I gotta go back and watch both. I've never seen California. I've seen bits and pieces of Natural Born Killers, and that movie is fucking crazy. Oliver Stone was on everything when he made that movie.
You want to see a filmmaker on cocaine? That's a movie.
He is, god damn, that movie was crazy. That shit used to come on HBO a lot, and I remember the first time I tried to give it a go, I'm like, I don't know what the fuck I'm watching. This shit feels like Space Odyssey or something.
Tarantino hates that movie. because it doesn't
What?
follow
Space
his
Odyssey?
no Natural Born Killers
Does he? Why? I mean,
because he
I
wrote
still
it.
gotta go back and watch it, but you said he wrote
He
it?
wrote it. Yeah, he wrote the screenplay for it, and it's not
Yeah.
what it's not. He had to sell Natural Born Killers and Crimson Tide to fund Reservoir Dogs. That's no, it was True Romance and Natural Born Killers that he had to sell in order to finance Reservoir Dogs.
He did write True Romance, didn't he?
Yeah.
Damn, man. R.I.P. Tom Sizemore. He definitely was in that shit too. True fucking
Oh
romance,
man.
man.
Him and Chris Penn, dude.
I know. Chris Penn's going too, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Tony
Oh my
Scott.
god, dude.
Damn, man. That's
Chris Penn
vicious.
and Tom Sizemore. Like I wanted to see like a fucking crazy ass buddy cop movie with them too, man, or some kind of gangster movie with them, or some
Yeah,
movie,
they were good in that
some type of
movie.
movie with their partners, because that
Yeah,
would have been great.
they were great in that movie, man. Like that when they finally get that guy, is that Balky from Perfect
Yes,
Strangers or not?
about
That's Balky.
yeah,
I knew that
yeah,
motherfucker looked familiar. I knew it. And he's the dude from Beverly Hills Cop. The dude that I don't know if he was in the other
so
one, but he's definitely in part 3. Yeah, he's definitely in
he's in
part
1 and
3.
3. He's in
Oh, he's in
1
1
and
and
3.
3.
Yes.
I wonder how 4 is going to go. I don't know. I don't know. Eddie Murphy. It's going to be all stunt work, but I'm gonna give it a chance.
I don't know.
I'll give it a chance. I mean, they got like Judge Reinhold to come back. He's like 98.
They got John Hester to come back too.
Yeah, they got the same players to come back. I just don't know how that's going to go. I think Netflix is picking it up, so hopefully.
No, it's Paramount. I think it's Paramount. I think it's Paramount.
Oh, it's getting a theatrical release.
I think it's Paramount. Yeah.
Oh, all right, Eddie. Okay, Eddie. I mean, we'll see.
Eddie's still a star, man. Eddie still has name value, so
I'm glad to see him back.
We'll see if that holds up. We'll see if that holds up still.
Yeah, I'm glad to see Eddie back because he went through a patch where his movies were just garbage at some point.
Ever since he did Dr. Dolittle, man, that motherfucker's just been on a downhill slope.
Yeah, like in the
There's actually There's one gem in his filmography in the late 2000s, in the late 90s, early 2000s, and that's Metroid. Metroid does not get talked about enough as one of his best movies.
Michael Wincott's the villain, right?
Yes.
I saw that movie for the first time last year, and I was like, why have I never seen this shit? That movie's fire. Like Eddie Murphy's like he's gritty in that shit. Like it's not all fun and games with him. It's like the stakes are pretty high in that movie, man. And Michael Wincott as the villain. Oh yeah, I was surprised.
I love the dynamic between him and Michael Rappaport. Also, I love that dynamic. Like I love that partnership. It's just so interesting to me. It's like,
damn,
that's so weird.
Would you put that in top 5 Eddie Murphy movies?
Yes. Yeah. My number 1 would be Coming to America, 48 Hours. I put Dr. Dolittle there because I'm a sucker. I think as much shit that I give him for that, I do think that's a solid fucking movie. I really do think that's a solid movie.
Entertaining. It is definitely entertaining. I like the first one.
Vampire in Brooklyn and Metroid. I will die. Much as that you like to die on that hill on Scream 3, I will die on that hill for Vampire in Brooklyn. I think that is a solid fucking movie.
Listen, I'm right there with you. That's in my top 5 Wes Craven movies, and a lot of people are like, "What the fuck? You don't like Serpent in the Rainbow?" It's like, no, I don't. I'm sorry, I don't. But Vampire in Brooklyn, I remember seeing that when it came out, man. That's another one of those movies where I'm like, this is. I hadn't seen Blackula at that point in time, but I'm like, okay, this is the closest to a black Dracula with a lot of humor as I'm going to get, and that movie is funny as shit. Kadeem Hardison, like if we gonna talk legacy sequels, I know Kadeem Hardison's a little too old to play like Julius again, but I never got my sequel. I never got my sequel with Julius Jones. playing the new vampire.
It won't be the same without Pop, though, dude. It won't be the same without Pop.
That's right. John Witherspoon was in it, man. Uncle Silas. Damn. And the voodoo guy, he passed away.
Zeke Moses.
They know what we trying to say because I can't pronounce his fucking name either. Something with a Z and something with an M. He passed away. I would love to see a fucking sequel to that. But you're right. It's not gonna, John Witherspoon is the glue to a lot of fucking movies that they can probably never touch again, man. That's why I can't see them making another Friday. Like everybody else that passed away is sad, but when John Witherspoon died, that was the last straw. You can't make another Friday without him. Ice Cube wants to do it, but I don't know.
I think it's more about Ice Cube wants. It's more like how we were talking earlier about Stallone wanting to own Rocky.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with Cube. Like he wants to own Friday because that's his movie. Like he wants to own it. Like that's his movie.
It's unfortunate.
I don't think he would do Friday without John Witherspoon though. Like I don't think he would.
He said he still wants to do it, and he said that one of his biggest regrets is not getting it off the ground before John Witherspoon passed away. But he doesn't talk about like Tiny Zeus, and I mean he might, and I might have just missed the interview, but Tiny Zeus is gone. AJ Johnson's gone. Bernie Mac is gone. Roach from Next Friday is gone. Yvette Wilson from the first movie is gone. There's so many people that were big parts of that movie, whether it was like cameo appearances or not. Ronaldo Ray, the one that played Red's dad in the first one, he's gone. There's too many motherfuckers. Really? He's gone. Yeah, he passed away a couple years ago. He's gone. Ronaldo Ray, he passed away. 2015, May 28th.
God damn.
It's so many fucking, key characters. If you were going to do a Fourth Friday movie, everybody's got to pop up. It's got to be the Mortal Kombat annihilation of the Friday movies, only it has to be
Don't say
good.
that because everyone's going to get recasted. Even Cube will get recasted.
In his own fucking movie? He's going to get fucking recasted, like, in between cuts and shit and not even know nothing about it. God damn.
Oh, you know what they could do? You know what they could do? They could do Clerks 3 and make the making of Friday. Craig has the idea to make Friday a movie. And you have O'Shea Jackson Jr. play Ice Cube, play Craig.
You might be on to something. I would rather have that than everybody's like, oh, let's do a Friday reboot with O'Shea and DC Young Fly, and it's like, no, let's not do that. But if Craig, that's crazy. Like if Craig, because they live in LA, right? I think they do live in LA. Like that is like fucking land of opportunity. So imagine, that's crazy. Like imagine Craig wanting to be like, yo, we should make this into a movie, and that'll just. Like, I don't know. That could work. Ice Cube, we need you on the show, sir. Ice Cube don't respond to none of my tags on Instagram, so I don't know. If we get Ice Cube on the show, that's a game changer right there.
I will look up his business email and message him. Next Friday after Friday, the making of Friday idea. I want to pitch it to you, Ice Cube.
All he's going to say, he's going to say that Time Warner is not going to come up. They're not trying to come up off the money to have him, get this movie made. Like he's always asking the fans, but they're not trying to finance this shit. And I really don't like. While I say they shouldn't do another one without all these people, I don't see why the fuck they don't give them the money to make the movie. Like it's a household name at this point. He's trying to put money into y'all pockets and give the fans what they want at the end of the day. Like that, it'd be stupid to not give him the money for that shit. I hope he gets to make it though, just to see what he's going to do.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it'd be too. I mean, Chris Tucker doesn't even want to come back, so I don't know.
Nope. Chris Tucker.
He got Rush Hour 4 to deal with.
Are they still doing that shit?
Yeah, they're doing Rush Hour 4. They're gonna do Rush Hour 4.
They better hurry the fuck up, man, because I would watch it, but we don't really need it. It's like when they announced Bad Boys 4, I'm excited as shit. But 3 was so good that if 4 is ass, doesn't make a difference to me because we didn't need it in the first place.
If we don't get Mike Larry slapping Mike Burnett, it's not worth it.
Oh my God. If they put that type of shit inside the script, that's gonna be golden humor right there. Like,
so funny.
Oh dear. And they got to get the same guys to come back. Those dudes did a decent job. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce their name. Hold up. Let me not be disrespectful here.
I think it's Michael Bay directing it though. I don't think it's the guys that did Bad Boys 3. Yeah, I think Michael Bay's doing it. I don't think it's the other guys.
Oh, if Michael Bay comes back for this shit, oh yeah, I'm sold. Adil El Arbi and Bilal Falah did Bad Boys for Life. And that's another thing, like with Radio Silence. It was 2 directors. It was kind of a seamless transition, but I think Bad Boys for Life was a lot flashier than the other 2. Like,
no, I still think Bad Boys 2 was flashier than the others.
Yeah.
I think Bad Boys 2 has a much sleeker look to it than Bad Boys for Life and Bad Boys. Bad Boys is still gritty. It looks gritty because it's a low budget film. Well, not low budget, but low budget for them at the time. I think Bad Boys with the whole Dr. Dre and the nice cars and all that stuff, and the digital filmmaking. I think Bad Boys 2 makes it look sleeker.
Bad Boys 2 is this is a bold fucking statement. Bad Boys 2 is like the Terminator 2 of that franchise. That shit, I saw that in the theater too. That chase sequence where they're going after the dead bodies and all of that shit, and they take the car from Dan Marino. Not even that. Fuck that. The sequence before that, where they're throwing they're throwing cars off the back of that truck. That's Terminator 2 shit. That's Terminator 2 level action. Not supernatural sci-fi,
YouTube. What is the name? Tactical Narcotics Team. Where was your tactical?
The keyword. Tactical. Oh man, I was so fucking mad when Captain Howard got murked off. But
oh, dude, that was sad, bro. I did not think I didn't think Bad Boys for Life was gonna make me emotional. And then they hit me with that 1-2 punch with Mike Lowry getting shot and then Captain Howard getting shot. Like 10, 15 minutes later. Like, motherfucker, seriously?
Did you
I just got over it.
Did you buy the whole son angle? The whole this is Will Smith's son.
Not really, but I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever.
That's probably why Will Smith signed on for it. Like, Will was probably like, listen, I'll do it, but you got to make this geared more towards my character. Because Will Smith didn't need it. He didn't need it. He doesn't. I don't want to sound the type of way when I say this, but Martin Lawrence needed that movie more than Will Smith did at the time.
I agree, but Martin Lawrence was the one that was more hesitant to come back, though.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the one that was like, I told Marcus Burnett is in a better place. Why would I want to go back?
I love when actors do that, man. I love when actors do that because you can tell they didn't do that movie just for the money. They did that movie like they both said, listen, we're not coming back. We decided we couldn't come back unless they did it right, like unless they had a good script and they had a good director behind it. And that shows like how dedicated they are to the characters. Like it's not just a cash grab for them. Plus it took them 87 years to even get a sequel off the ground to begin with.
Yeah. I was still in high school when that sequel came out, dude. No, I graduated high school when that movie came out.
Yeah, that shit. It was worth the wait though. I'm not gonna lie. Like Bad Boys 2 was just crazy. Like a lot of people didn't like it. Like they said it was too over the top.
I felt it was a little long.
It was. It was because you think what you think is the end of the movie starts a whole nother act of the movie. Like when you find out Gabrielle Union gets kidnapped, it's like, God damn, the movie's not over yet.
Yeah, we still got a whole half hour.
And then the favela chase sequence was like 17 years long. That shit was long as fuck.
Yeah. Good stunt work, but still, man, I was like, man, like you could have cut some of this shit off, man. Like seriously.
Yeah, it's definitely long as hell.
Well,
they've got a Teen Wolf movie that nobody's going to watch. Yeah, I'm alright. I can't do it. First of all, Teen Wolf is cool. Teen Wolf 2 is like, all right, y'all pushing it, but I like that they brought Mark Holton back, but then when you make a TV show out of it and then you make a movie based off the TV show that you made that was already shitty to begin with, nah.
Have you watched that Wolfpack series yet on Paramount with Sarah Michelle Gellar?
I have not. Is it any good?
I don't know. That's what I was asking you.
I don't know. I mean, I like Sarah Michelle Gellar, but...
There's werewolves, there's vampires. It's like a monster show, apparently.
It's a monster mash.
Yeah. I can already see that, like, whatever.
Because, man...
I've actually been hearing a lot of good things about it.
I'm still trying to make it off the shows. Like, I haven't finished watching Wednesday. I want to finish watching Velma. I haven't finished watching Halo. I haven't finished watching You on Netflix. There's so many fucking shows. I want to go back and watch the Swamp Thing series from 2019. I want to go back and watch Lovecraft Country. Somebody told me to watch Stranger Things and give it a chance. So I said, okay, I'll do that. Even my daughter told me to watch Stranger Things. And I'm just like, all right, man. Like, I'll give it a chance. I got like 12 seasons to catch up on.
My stepkid's been trying like hell to get me to watch Game of Thrones, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it.
I tried. I did try. I only made it probably like 2 episodes in, and I said, yeah, this is not my cup of tea. It's not for me at all. The cast is fire though. Like Natalie Emmanuel's in there at some point. Jason Momoa's in there at some point. I think Peter Dinklage is great in every fucking thing he's in. But I can't get past that dialogue. I'm not ready. Like, I'll just go watch Braveheart or some shit. Like, I'm not about to sit through a whole bunch of where art thou period piece dialogue. But it is brutal as shit. Like, there's a sequence I watched where they were in this Coliseum type of thing fighting, and the one guy busts this dude's head open like a grape. Like, he presses down in his eyes and whew. Yeah, and I was like, okay.
There's also another crazy ass scene too, man, with Jason Momoa. He plays as King Barbarian, and he gets one of these princes that are exiled, and they're like, they think they run the shit, right? And so Jason Momoa comes on and gets his other barbarians and hold this dude down, and they fucking open his mouth and they put hot iron down his throat.
Blah.
Oh, it's fucking crazy.
Damn. I was about to say, does he die?
You can wear that crown. You can wear that crown.
Whew.
Yeah, that is rough.
What a way to go. So not only is he burning your trachea apart, but that shit's going to harden soon? Fuck.
Yup.
That's all bad.
All right, man. Well, I got to head on out, man. As usual, it's always a pleasure. I love doing these with you.
Sir.
And
this was a good one.
We'll be back, what, 2 weeks, right? The 22nd?
22nd? Yeah, 22nd.
And what are we doing our 90s?
Oh, yeah.
Are we doing our 90s or are we doing something else?
No, we can stick with the 90s ones. I've started like mapping out what's what, because I hope that whoever was like talking shit in our on our live stream the last episode, who made them little comments, the names shall remain nameless. But I hope they tune in, man, because we are definitely going to put out there, people, the fact that the 90s was the best era for horror, and we are definitely going to explain why. We're going to give examples why, because there's tons of fucking movies. When I tell you I'm categorizing movies, like we got zombie movies that made the 90s poppin', we got slashers that were carrying on from the 80s, We got the new wave slashers and monsters and the creature features and when animals attack. Like, it's the 90s. It's where it's at. It's where it's at. I hope that person tunes in. We're doing this for you. We do it for the people. We do it for the viewers.
For real, man. We do it for y'all, and we'll be back on the 22nd. Until then, everyone out there, be safe, stay hungry, and keep making moves. Till then, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Deuce.